Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So it would seem we're in the realm of collection videos because I still have decks out from trying to come up with 10 for the only 10 indie deck tag, and I am currently rejigging my decks around while I'm trying to find spaces to put things back in a more orderly way. While these decks are all still out, I am just enjoying a bit of quiet time while the kids are at their dad's, just having a flick through and a play through them, and I thought I would do it with you as well. So I did my only 10 indie deck list, then I did another indie deck video because there were just so many that I just felt awful for not including, and there's still loads more out. Some of these are open because I've been doing tarot readings with them last night. So let's start with this one. Let's not put them away till I've had a little play with them. So we've got this one here, the wooden tarot. Now these came to me, and I say these because I'm going to show this one as well, the Earthbound Oracle, both created by Andrew Liam Swartz. There's the name. They came to me, these two decks together, and I was really interested but really unsure about whether they would work for me, because I was kind of more into sort of flamboyant, colourful, sort of really high detailed cards, and these cards are not that. They are much more neutral colours, much more sparse in their imagery, and I wasn't sure whether they were going to be for me, but they came to me at a perfect time, because they came to me at the start of my year when my word of the year was slow living freedom, the start of the year where I was decluttering my space and reevaluating maximalism against areas of emptiness in my house. It came to me in the year where I slowed right down and eliminated the rush, and so they came to me at the perfect time. This is my stalker card from this deck, which is interesting because my word of the year on another year was failure. It was about being brave and realizing that success comes with continual steps failure. So it was not a year of wanting to fail, it was a year of wanting to be braver, to give things a go. So yeah, the Earthbound Oracle and the Wooden Tarot became firm favourites for me. Really lovely readings from them. Really surprised me because, like I said, I really didn't know whether this style of deck would work for me, but it let me come up for air in a year where I really did need to come up for air, and it opened up the importance of space for me. I think I felt that in my own home, that importance of, you know, areas of emptiness, areas of space, space as an object in its own right, emptiness as an object. And it was a really lovely lesson to learn, and these decks helped me learn that as well. So that's the Earthbound Oracle and the Wooden Tarot. Okay, now another two decks that for me hold a space in my tarot practice of trying to become more embodied, less in my head, more in my body, and self-love as well for my body. So this is the Black Lily Tarot deck by Aya Rosen, and also in this page there is the Inner Queen Oracle as well, which I love these two. I love these two together. Nudity warning here for these decks. Really good for self-care work, like I said, and inner growth work, and acceptance as well. I think accepting yourself wherever you are in the journey that you're on understanding it's the journey that's important, not the destination. These are decks that I use for that work. Now this artwork in the Black Lily Tarot reminds me very much of Egon Schiele. I don't know if you are aware of his artwork. Very, very Egon Schiele sort of feel to it. I think some of the artwork can feel very in your face, can almost feel a little bit brutal. Look at those two cards together, aren't those gorgeous? Really difficult issues around, say, body acceptance or self-love or self-care. I have really loved working with these two. In fact, oh, look at those together. Oh, I love that. I think I am going to keep these two out and add these into my spring decks because, well, they're fantastic. Look at them. Yeah, I love them. Quite unusual. I don't see them very much on YouTube, but they are really firm favourites in my collection, and I love them. So that is the Inner Queen Oracle and the Black Lily Tarot. Now we come to the first Marseille deck in my indie deck collection, the only Marseille deck in the collection, the wonderful Bubba Studios Mythical Creatures Tarot, which was again a incredible gift from one of you lovely lot that had got this deck and you said you just weren't connecting with it. Now I started to learn Marseille at the start of this year, very limited, because I've also been doing the 365 yellow bricks with Sylvain over at Sylvain Deadly Sins. I also spent the first 2 and a bit months learning I Ching. I also have started a deck and walk. So the Marseille study has kind of taken a little bit of a back seat just because I just felt overwhelmed trying to get to it all. Rightly so. I mean, that's a lot to take on in the first few months of the year. But in January, when I did work with some of the Marseille decks, it just made me realise how delightful and gorgeous and really special this deck is. I mean, it's the only Bubba Studios deck I've got. I love it. I think I like it the most of all the Bubba Studios, but this just feels, well, I mean, look at this illustration. Oh, I love it. So this is my only Marseille in my indie deck collection, the Mythical Creatures Tarot, which is just such a special, wonderful gift. Another indie deck which I really wanted to include in my only 10 is this beauty, Sasha Borington's the Sasuraibito Tarot. Oh gosh, this deck. Now, I adore this deck. It is just so rammed full, I think, of emotion, and it is such a easy, beautiful reader to read with as well. I think it is that emotion within the deck. I think the cards are just, well, you can just feel the energy of each card. It is a real feelings deck. I love this full so much. Like the surprise in the Three of Swords, like you just didn't see that coming, stabbed from the back, and like you can just see it's that moment where she's thinking, oh my goodness, what is this? And just the feeling of, okay, I'm just going to sacrifice to this, and the sensuality of the Empress. It's just a wonderful deck. I love this Three of Cups. On the Ten of Swords, it's almost like they're ghost swords. I love that. I think the artwork is really different as well. It really, I think this deck stands alone really in its kind of style. It's got really unusual style. I love this Nine of Wands so much. Yeah, it's just wonderful. It gets you thinking. It gives you all the feels. It's very, very up close and personal, this deck. Very up close and personal. I mean, this Nine of Cups is just wonderful. And the Tower as the tree. Yeah, I love it. Really love it. It is one of my favourite indie decks. It was one I was really sad I didn't have the space for it in my only 10. It was vying and chomping at the bit to get into those only 10. And I love it. So that is the Sasuraibito tarot with these incredible backs. Next is a deck in this bag. Now, this is the oddest thing that's happening in my tarot practice at the moment. Now, this is the amazing Carnival at the End of the World. Now, I love these artists' work, and I love the Drowning World Tarot as well, which I don't have. This one I love, very slippy but beautiful cardstock. Now, when I first got this deck, I did readings with it and it absolutely blew me away. It blew me away totally. I had a walkthrough of the deck where I called it my soul deck, meeting a soul deck. I actually named the video. It really blew me away. And then after that first month, every single time I've gone to pull this deck, there's been a very loud no from the deck. A very big wall up about working with it. Not yet. No are the words I get when I pick this deck up. Not yet. So I don't know what this deck is waiting for. And I have tried to work with it, even though I'm getting a no, not yet from it, and I'm just not getting the readings from it. So at the minute this is bagged up and in my tarot cupboard, and I'm just waiting to hear a yes from it. I've never ever had that happen with a deck before. And look at it. It is so stunning. I love all of the extra cards as well in this deck. There is a suit of extra cards which I love. I love all the strange characters. I love the guidebook that comes with it. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Look at that Queen of Swords. She is just stunning. I love the artwork where you've got these veils on the characters, and I love the meaning behind this card as well. So it's wonderful, but it doesn't want to work with me at the moment. So it's on hold, waiting for a time to be pulled back out. But it is still one of my favourites, even though it keeps telling me no, not yet. Isn't that strange? Have any of you had that happen with a deck? Let me know. I'd love to know, because I'm very confused by it. So let me know if you've had that happen too. The next one was gifted to me. Now this is a Chris Ann Sacred Creators Oracle. This is the indie version of it, and oh boy, this deck is fantastic. In fact, going through my decks and sitting playing last night with them before bed, I actually got this deck back out. Now the indie version has this beautiful matte edging, sort of copper gold edging, which I love. Cardstock is incredible, but I love this deck because it goes with so many other decks, and the guidebook is mind-blowing. You can get so much from it. In fact, the card I pulled last night really gave me a little kick in the bum, and it it really spoke to me about some things that are going on, and yeah, it gave me so much to think about. Oh my goodness, a one single card pull that really, it called me out, and then it made me realize how quick I am to back down when I'm called out, and to make everything my fault, and to be prepared to give up an opinion. So all of that happened with a single card pull, and alongside the incredible guidebook, and it shifted my growth just in a single card pull, which I think is amazing. And I don't think this is a deck that I would have bought for myself, because I'm a visual creature. If you've been on my channel for half a second, you will know that it is images and pictures that speak to me. Colour as well, and yes, this deck is very colourful, perfect for spring. Look, it's very spring colours. But I wouldn't have thought there would be enough visually on this. It's more of a text heavy deck, and just with colours. I don't think I would have bought this myself, so I am so grateful that it was sent to me as a gift, because it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's so usable, and there is so much to learn from it. If I show you the guidebook, now I have no idea whether the mass market version guidebook is the same as this or not, but see, for each card there is just so much. That's 4 sides for each card. So the distraction of shiny things, essential meanings, self-care message, creator message, what to know, dive in, and journal prompts. So things like, what is your brand of shine? What makes you unique? What makes you quirky? What's your wild? What's your divine light? What does it look like, and how does it feel? How do you communicate when you are in the zone? How can you learn to live in your own light fully? You can see it's jam-packed, and I love it for that. So yeah, I'm keeping this out. I'm adding to my spring decks as I'm playing with these decks, and it's just really nice to sometimes do this, to go to a shelf of decks, just to flick through, and to just suddenly get some new inspiration for your tarot practice. So it's got similar pattern to all of Chris Ann's decks. I mean, I think Chris Ann, to be honest, is one of my favourite deck creators. So yeah, this is fantastic. I love it. So that's the Sacred Creators Oracle. So this next one is a deck that I found really cheap on Etsy. It was on, not on Etsy, sorry, on eBay. It was a UK seller on eBay. This is the Ellis deck. I think this is the 4th edition. It came to me trimmed. It was a deck that I had my eye on for a long time. It comes with this fantastic little cheat sheet, which I think is brilliant. Amazing backs. Look at these backs. So it was one that I wanted for a long time, and I have to confess, I love it, and I've done this with it so many times, but I am yet to work with it. Even though it has been in my collection for a long time, I still haven't worked with it, and I have no idea why. Probably just the size of the collection I've got. I am a collector. I collect lots of different things. I am not a minimalist, and art just floats my boat. So all of these mini art galleries in boxes are just so amazing to have. So I do have a large deck collection. It's probably that. But every time I look at it, I think this deck is incredible, and yet still I haven't worked with it. I think it's going to be another one I'm going to keep out, guys, for spring. I think this might be really good as well for talking to the Morrigan. I normally use the Crow Tarot for talking to the Morrigan, but yeah, I'm getting whispers about this because there's lots of black feathers. The sword suit is full of crows. Oh my gosh, I've got tingling as I'm saying this. I think I'm keeping this out for Morrigan readings. I'm going to see how it goes for that. Look at it. It's like some epic fantasy book series, I think, where the protagonist goes through different worlds. So this crow world, and then the forest, and to meet all the foxes, and then it has to cross a sea with all the mermaids, and then the fairy and the fae energy. You could just imagine this being turned into a whole series of epic books, adventure fantasy books. Look, you could just envisage that in a film, couldn't you? And all of these characters. Oh, it's just wonderful. The fact that I haven't worked with this yet is just a crying shame, isn't it? It's a crying shame. So yeah, this is another one that's staying out. Oh, I love it. How exciting. So that is the Ellis deck. Now, one that I've been working with this month is in this bag. Now, this is a deck by Terry Foss. This is the Moon Goddess affirmation cards. It's out of print, I'm afraid. Now, it's a 31 card deck, but Terry Foss does have her artwork in a brand new mass market deck that's just come out, which does look lovely. And Terry Foss's artwork is just so lovely. Now, this year, one of my goals for this year is to stay a lot more connected to the moon, and I am going to be bringing you some videos to do with that over the course of the year. So this is a deck that I put out in my drawers to keep out because it's Moon Goddess affirmations. So all of these cards have moons featuring in them somewhere, and it's just a lovely, gorgeous affirmation deck to use. I think the world that Terry Foss's art conjures up is one of witchcraft, you know, that gorgeous aesthetic, dark, goddess-like witchcraft, where you meet with friends in woodlands on beautiful moonlit nights, and where crows fly down to meet you, and, you know, gorgeous gowns and hats and familiars, and communing with spirits and making potions. It's just got that gorgeous feel, like your dream witchy world feel to it, and the artwork is sublime. So this is another really favourite indie deck, which again was another one that I wanted to weep at the fact that there was no room for it in my only 10. Now, the next deck was sent to me by the wonderful Nancy over at Paper Moon Tarot. I love Nancy. She's absolutely wonderful. I'll link Nancy's channel below so that if you haven't found her yet, you can go and say hi. Now, Nancy, when I very first came onto YouTube and first met her, she sent me a lovely parcel with a number of decks in, which I'm incredibly grateful for. And this little, I think, what's it called? Oh, Nancy, what's it called? Is it the Badger's Forest Tarot or the Badger's Wood Tarot? Oh, I forget. I'll put it on the screen here. It's a dinky little deck. If I compare it to a Rider-Waite card, you can see it's tiny, but it is so cute. Tiny but mighty, shall we say. And there are badgers, and there are crows. Again, it's another one with crows in. Look at these cards, aren't they gorgeous? Oh. And we've got foxes as well in there. I just love them. Why is this not out for my spring decks as well? Oh my gosh, I can see me not putting any of these away. These are all going to have to stay out. How gorgeous are these? Aren't they just beautiful? There are some more crows. And then there are bunnies or hares. I suppose these are hares because look at the long ears. Yeah, this is going to stay out as well. It just needs to stay out. So this is one that I just need to work with more. This is a perfect time of year to work with it, so it is going to stay out. I love it. Just love it. I love these sort of landscape cards, these open cards that you can read intuitively. I love those. Yeah, isn't it just a delight? It's an absolute delight, isn't it? I did try pairing this with my inner child oracle. I think the bunny's in a natural setting alongside a bunny dressed up in clothes. I don't know, has it worked? What do you think? Look. See, it just didn't work for me. The two kind of bounced off each other wrong. Yeah. It just didn't look right, although that's rather lovely. Look at that. Does it? No, it's, to me, something feels off with that combination. So I didn't include that in the inner child oracle video. I think I do need to find something to pair this with. Oh, should we do that now? What to pair it with? Do you know, it might go with the earthbound, mightn't it? Oh, these are nice together, look. Oh yeah, I like these together. Oh, yes. I love those together. So let's leave both of these out. We're really adding into the spring decks, aren't we? But why not, hey? Look at that. Look at the spikes of that log with the spikes in the bunny, and it looks like the fox is looking for a hare as well. Just amazing. Growth, finding a way to cross the river. Resistance at the crossroads, not knowing which way to go. Oh, I love it. And balance with eating, of course. Death with a 5, of course. Yeah, I love it. So these are going to be two I'm going to leave out. I'm going to work with those together. So that was an unexpected pairing in the mix there. And I found this gorgeous, look at this gorgeous fox bag. This was from, I think it was from an Etsy shop somewhere. Just perfect for it. Now the bag that it originally came in was this see-through black bag, but I have transferred my Divine Muses oracle into this bag because I have tried to work with this deck a few times now, and I said before on here that it was making me a little bit claustrophobic to work with. It's got like this kind of sort of haze of grey over all the images, and it was making me feel suffocated. But then somebody, was it Meg in the comments, said the little pouch that it comes in, which is really tight to get the cards in and out of, might be adding to that suffocating feeling. So what I've done, I have transferred it into this very airy see-through bag to see if that makes me feel like I can breathe a little bit more to use this deck, because it is really stunning, and I really wanted to work with it with the stretch tarot. Well, I think this is the type of deck that can go with so many different tarot, and I just love it. I love this kind of vintage photography, and I have to say I do think it is doing the trick. The fact it can breathe now in this bag is amazing. And I'm reaching over to grab the beautiful Rebellion Tarot, which Amber over at Lavender Moon sent me for my birthday in that birthday box I shared, because it is incredibly similar cardstock. The backs kind of look nice together as well, and I haven't worked with this deck yet. I'm just wondering whether these two decks might look pretty spectacular together. Let's give it a go. What do we think? Yeah, the feel of the cards is identical. It's identical cardstock, which is lovely. Oh, I love it. Oh, I like these two together. There's something about the size and the cardstock being the same. Also, this deck has kind of got that kind of haze as well to it. And can you hear the noises behind me in my bathroom? And my weighing scales have just beeped on as well. We have activity again in the house, so that's interesting. It kept me awake last night, so there we go. And things are moving around again in there, and buttons are being pressed, so there we go. So Spirit of Home and the 10 of Cups, look at that. Oh, I love it. Yeah, these two are definitely begging to be worked with together. And I think the edge of colour in this kind of, oh, look at those two together. How lovely is that? Kind of pulls this out of this sort of claustrophobic grey. It just needed, I think, a pairing. It needed something with more colour, but with the same feel to it, which is what I'm getting from this. Yeah, so this is the Divine Muses Oracle, which, like I say, wasn't the easiest to work with for me to start with the beautiful Rebellion Tarot, but I think these are going to be gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous together. Yeah, really excited about working with those two. Okay, the last one I am going to share is a deck that I bought secondhand. I actually got this from Jess over at Jessica and the Moon, and it's the Many Queens Tarot. I don't tend to go for loads of just black and white decks, but it was the characters and it's the amazing characters in these, and the art style. I do a lot of ink drawing, so this does remind me of some of the ink drawings that I do. So for me, those two things made up for the lack of colour in the deck. I like this art style, and the characters are just wonderful, and the body diversity as well of these characters, just incredible. So it is a deck by Letty Jane Rennekamp. It was over on Little Red Tarot as well, but I don't know if they've got it anymore there. I'm not even sure whether this is still in print. I think it is, but I'm not certain. But this has been one that over the years has just delighted me. It's just great to use, and it is just really unusual. There's nothing else like it out there. If you are into, oh, nudity warning by the way guys, a bit late for that now, but if you're into this ink style, if you're into colourful characters, if you're into a bit of body diversity and stubbly legs, if you are into working with these incredible characters, then this deck might be one for you. I think it's fantastic. It's fun, it's funny, it makes me laugh. It has paired brilliantly with the Enchanted Tarot, believe it or not. I've had some really quite incredible readings with those two together, and it's fantastic. So that is the Many Queens Tarot, which is the last deck that I am going to share in this video collection. I have enough decks for another indie deck collection video, which I may as well do while the decks are out. So there is another one of these to come. Who knew at the start of April that I would be making collection videos? Who knew? But that is the way that it's gone, and I'm loving it. So much fun just to play with the decks I've got and to flick through and to get to say hello to them all again. So I hope you guys are enjoying it too, and I think the last one is coming soon. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.